It's a tragedy no parent wants to face, the sudden death of their child. This month raises awareness of that issue. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kinsley Centers. Thank you for joining us for News 4 at 5. New numbers from the Alabama Department of Public Health show 391 babies died in Alabama in 2022. News 4's Lily O'Brien brings us a closer look into what causes infant mortality and what we can do to prevent it. Lily, what can you tell us this evening?
Kinsley, it's SIDS Awareness Month, and right now attention is being called to infant mortality. In the face of those numbers you shared, Alabama's top health experts are focused on fighting sleep-related infant deaths.
Infant mortality. It's a tragedy nobody wants to face, but hundreds do every year.
Well, the sad part is it can happen to anyone.
The last time the ADPH reported numbers on infant mortality was in 2022.
We were down. We were better than we had been before. We had improved our infant mortality.
Even with a decrease in deaths, it's still heavy on the minds of parents. Amy McAfee is the state perinatal program manager with ADPH. She says there's a couple leading causes of infant deaths in Alabama.
And the first one is congenital malformations. And as we know, there's really not a whole lot we can do about that.
The second leading cause is sleep-related.
So we can do something about that.
This is where the hashtag #ClearTheCrib social media challenge comes in. It clarifies what a safe crib environment looks like and promotes safe sleep for babies.
Safe sleep comes with what the ADPH calls the ABCs of sleep. A is for alone, on their B, back, in AC, crib.
All pillows, loose blankets, bumper pads, stuffed animals, and even baby hats should be removed for a baby to sleep safely. Cribs like these are risky and wouldn't pass the test. To complete the timed challenge, you have to remove unsafe items and safely position a doll, which represents a baby.
We have a phrase that we like to use that's share your room, not your bed. Put them in their beds by themselves, but in your room.
Reducing risky environments, she says, can keep Alabama on the right track, decreasing infant mortality.
McAfee tells me numbers in 2022 declined and showed major progress from the years before. She hopes that momentum continues as newer statistics are released later this year and as more babies are brought into the world. Kinsley?
Lily O'Brien, thank you for bringing us that life-saving information this evening. Thank you.